Hi, Nick from Jazzduets. Today I'm really excited to show you something that I hope will blow your mind. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. Over these never-changing diatonic turnaround chords, you will hear lines that trace the harmony of the following incredibly important 8 progressions that are ubiquitous in jazz. Many of the lines you will hear are not correct theoretically when played over the diatonic turnaround chords, as they contain chromatic jazzy notes that create dissonances. But they still work, and this blows my mind, as it proves that you can play supposed wrong notes in jazz, and it frees you from any diatonic shackles you may have. Okay, let's get started. Notice, before we begin the tutorial, you will now hear the 8 progressions demonstrated on guitar back to back. This is a lot of information, but please don't panic. The unhurried explanation of each turnaround immediately follows this initial oral frenzy. 1. Purely diatonic. 2. 6/7 chord added in. 3. 2/7 chord replacing 2-7. 4. Vintage flat 3 diminished chord added in. Let's pause for a second to ruminate on the fundamental point. The non-diatonic tones we are adding in here theoretically don't fit with the rhythm guitar's unchangeable chords, yet they still work. Listen carefully then to how these juxtapositions of the harmony sound to you. Sharp 1 diminished chord replaces the 6/7 chord. Flat 3 -7 chord adds in chromatic movement. The 5/7 is now an altered chord. Tritone sub 5 chord engaged. Okay, now let's listen to these exact same lines again, this time though with the Fender Rhodes underscoring and highlighting the harmony. In this first example, all the turnaround chords are diatonic. That is to say, they all come from the B-flat major scale. The melodic line is also 100% diatonic, with almost all of the notes being chord tones. Turnaround possibility number 2, the 6/7 chord. Now, in this example, instead of the previous 6-7 G-7 chord, we will use the 6/7 chord. This 6/7 secondary dominant is the 5/7 of chord 2-7. This is great, as this G7 chord now opens up more possibilities, as there is a new diatonic note to highlight, the B natural. This major third of G7 adds a brighter musical flavor to the lines and will help the improviser to create stronger chromatic resolutions. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, please be sure to like, subscribe and comment, as this encourages me to make new content. 3. 2 dominant 7th chord added. In the next example, the 2-7 chord C-7 has been replaced by the 2/7 chord C7. This secondary dominant chord is the 5/7 of chord 5. This ubiquitous chord substitution in jazz is so cool, as it adds in another non-diatonic note to the proceedings, the sharpened 4th degree, in this case E natural. This is a notable brighter sound. flat 3 diminished 7th, replacing the 6-7 chord. Now in bar 1, the flat 3 diminished chord replaces the previous 6-7 chord. This diminished chord was ubiquitous in early jazz. In fact, it can be heard in Louis Armstrong's 1938 solo that is featured in the Rhythm Changes course. This flattened third diminished chord has a vintage, yesteryear sound. Would you agree? In the next example, the sharp 1 diminished chord substitutes for the 6-7 dominant chord and creates the following chromatic bass line, B flat to B to C. This B diminished chord contains the same notes as G7 flat 9, the 6-7 chord. It can be thought of as a G7 flat 9 first inversion. Six. The flat 3 minor 7 is added. Now in the third bar, the flat 3 minor 7 chord replaces the previous 6-7 chord. The reason this works is as it creates 3 consecutive minor chords that descend chromatically. D minor 7, C sharp minor 7 to C minor 7. This parallel chord movement is pleasing and logical to our ears. Seven. 5-7 altered chord added. Now we spice up the 5-7 F7 chord, converting its tensions, the 9th, 11th and 13th, into altered tensions, flat 9, sharp 9, sharp 11 and flat 13. Eight, sub 5-7 added. In the following example, the 5-7 F7 chord has been replaced by its tritone substitution, B7. The reason this works is because both chords share the same thirds and flattened sevenths, A and E flat or D sharp. This chord produces a chromatic bass line, C to B flat. Please let me know in the comments which ones you like and which ones you don't, and why, as this will be of great interest to me. To finish, let's listen to the 8 turnarounds once more back to back, this time on the saxophone. 1. Purely diatonic. 2. 6-7 chord added in. 3. 2-7 chord replacing 2 minor 7. 4. Vintage flat 3 diminished chord added in. 5. Sharp 1 diminished chord replaces the 6-7 chord. 6. Flat 3 minor 7 chord adds in chromatic movement. 7. The 5-7 is now an altered chord. 8. Tritone sub 5 chord engaged. 9.